Good morning. It's a beautiful Saturday morning at the Swafford Homestead. Brett's got me out walking this morning. Part of this new journey is to walk. So we're walking the gardens. And I'm feeling very guilty this morning because the weeds are really bad because I haven't been able to help him with it. So ignore the grass because he's doing all he can do just to keep everything up.
It's really dry too.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell.
This first line here is, what do you call that, sugar cane?
This is sugar cane.
Huh. Now the bees may chase us around. I ain't never seen
Trying to
these
get an idea
bees
how
in the
tall
yard.
it is. It's a lot different than what I thought it'd be. But the bees seem to like it. Man, there's a lot of bees out. There's hundreds this morning. Just not over here. They're all in the squash. I got run out of the squash a while ago.
And the green beans.
Yeah, the green bean trellis will get there eventually. This is the sugar cane. It's about 6 foot high now. Some of it's a little taller, some of it's a little shorter. It's been budding ever since it got up a couple of feet. I don't know. My first year growing it, I don't know much about it, but it's definitely multiplying, so it's doing good.
Yeah, it still looks like corn.
Sugar cane has fooled a lot of people. Yeah, it's tall too. It's over my head now. I'm 6'3", and it's way taller than I am. Yeah, it looks a lot like corn. Back out where you can see the rows. It also does like the sugar cane. You can see I planted a single stalk, and there's 4 there. So it multiplies the stalks as it grows. Got a dud on here at the end, but we got 3 rows of sorghum.
It's gonna be interesting.
Gotta get the meal. These are top crop bush beans.
And it's so sad to see all these beautiful beans growing and just found out that they're not on the new diet plan I'm on.
Yeah, we planted a world of green beans.
Because I love green beans.
They're not on her diet right now.
Maybe it's something I can implement back in once we get everything balanced
These
out.
5 rows of top crop. Top crop's a real fast growing bush bean. The reason we chose it because it was planted late. I can run the tiller down through there and cut most of that grass. It ain't that bad, but it's so dry I hate to put the tiller on it. It just beats it so hard. I've wet this this is where I hope to till today. I wet it down last night and let it soak. This little woolly row is where I planted the peanuts. You can see a peanut or 2. Probably got 60, maybe 70% germination. Wasn't real good. There's several there. They mostly grew in the middle. These on the ends I guess got too dry or hadn't never pushed up. The ground's cracked where they should be, but hadn't seen a peanut yet. Of course we got sweet potatoes. Got 3.5 rows. There's about 70 plants in here. They look pretty good. There's a couple blank spots. I've planted a couple back. I've got a couple more I'm gonna put in to kind of fill in. I was trying for 75, but every time I seem to get there, something dies or something gets one of them. This was the 9 rows of potatoes.
Looks like some's ready to be dug.
They're starting to die off. Of course, it's very dry. The ground's cracking dry. But we've been digging a few. There's been some of these smaller ones on the end down here not make it. You can see some blank spots in here. That's where I got about 3 boxes of potatoes. I don't think I put that video out yet.
It's made what, 10 quarts of them?
Made 10 quarts of potatoes, and we gave some to the neighbors. We ate them for breakfast. We still got potatoes. I don't know how many it made, really. It's a lot of them.
Taters.
The last row, of course, that's the one where we planted little dried up potatoes and the ones I call the change, and just to see what they do. I always keep them, put them back in, but I planted them separate this time.
Hello, Mr. Bumblebee.
No, they didn't make great big plants and probably not big potatoes, but if it grows potatoes, what counts. This is a pretty good length garden here. I mean, it's over 100 feet long.
It's a long walk.
This is garden number 4. Let's go to garden number 3.
Okay.
I gotta go. Yeah, this is garden number 3, I guess. Got a couple rows of okra. They was kind of spaced out. I planted one and waited a week or 2 and planted some more. That way it don't all come in at one time, because it'll get producing pretty good. Not a real big garden, but we're building something here. This goes back to, I've seen several videos, people talking about building raised beds and building garden beds. You know, you in-ground garden, you got to do the same thing. This is a work in progress. This is our 3rd year in it.
Grows real good grass.
We still ain't got the grass under control in it, but that's all right. We're going to cover crop it this fall. But this is Cherokee wax beans, and the row to the left, the next row is golden wax beans. Don't really look a whole lot different as far as the plant and the pod. The seeds are different. The seeds of a Cherokee was dark, or the seeds of the golden wax was white. I don't know if it's the way they process them or if they truly are completely different, but they grow basically the same bean. We really like them. We tried them this year and they're good.
They're real good. Sadly, not on the new list.
The woolly mess next to the fence is sugar snout peas. They're gone. I'm fixing to till it all up and turn it under, but most of them's died. And once the grass got in, if you pulled the grass, a lot of times you'd pull the snap pea up. So we just let it grow. Made a lot of snap peas. We all enjoyed them. I'm picking the rest of them for seed, and I'm going to grind the rest of it under. Thinking about planting some blue corn here. I got some blue hoppy corn that needs to be redone. I hadn't grown no seed in 2 or 3 years now. So let's move on to our little garden number 2. Garden number 2. Not a really wide garden, but we kind of add to it in the summertime. I put plastic down and I plant spaghetti squash and watermelons on the side. So our little narrow garden turns into a nice wide garden. We're getting some spaghetti squash. We got 3 in the house. On that video I've never turned loose. It's doing pretty good. These I'm pretty sure is my purple potatoes, and some of them has had blooms. They're growing plants, so I'm hoping we'll get a couple of purple potatoes under it anyway. Carry this on.
What's this new row here?
The new wet row here is my strawberries.
Oh.
That's the 70 strawberries we got the other day.
That's right, we're transitioning them over here.
We got quite a few of them up. I think we've probably lost a few. It's so hot, so dry. I'm having to water every day to just keep them going. Sometimes twice a day.
And have the cabbage.
It was cloudy yesterday, so I didn't have to. Of course, Brussels sprouts at the end. My purple cabbage.
Just the watermelon?
Yep. Got 4 hills of watermelons here. Still got a few onions down there that are running late, I guess. I'm still letting them grow. And this was our onion patch here. Got a little bit of grass. I gotta get my plastic over here. We'll put plastic on this side and we'll stretch it out, and the garden become a third again wider.
Yeah, like I said, it'd been a lot easier to keep all this up if I'd have been able to help you.
Not a bad little place. It's about 20 feet wide most of the time. When I get done in the summer, by August it's 40 feet wide. I got plastic stretched and the watermelons grow out here, not in the garden. Kind of helps with the weeds, keep the plastic down, let them grow out this way. Cuts down on my grass cutting.
Which is the other thing I
The woodly corner is my raspberry plants. I've gathered them up and brought them over here, and they seem to be doing good in the corner of the garden. I just let them go.
Yeah, I usually do all the mowing. I can tell I'm not doing the mowing.
Of course, this is beets at the end. I've had a few growing in a tray. This end down here I planted with beets. They're cylinder beets, something like that. They're the long cylinder shaped beets. I like them because that's good for pickling. You can slice them. We turned our garlic bed into a beet bed. Let's see, we got an onion bed down there we got to go to. Go by the strawberry bed. We'll walk on to the next one. Might as well talk about this while we're here. This is our loofahs. It's starting to climb the tree. I don't know how tall these things get, but right now it's over 10 feet tall. They might be way up in this pine tree before it's over with. But I planted them 5 I had growing. I know I told the story on a previous video about them. My second onion bed. They're about to finish up. They're starting to die off on the top. Hard to keep water in here right now. It hadn't rained in 2 weeks probably.
Something like that.
We're down to garden number 1. So we got our pole beans, as it's called on the pack. We call them stick beans.
Yep.
String beans, stick beans, pole beans.
Some of my favorite things to eat, and I can't eat no more. At least not for now.
Good and thick trellis of them. The bumblebees are all inside of it this morning. We're starting to get beans out of it. I picked just a few yesterday, but
My Lord.
and it's just took off so much. It's amazing. Of course, this is our row of hybrid tomatoes, or Jet Star or Jet Setter. I mix them up. They're basically the same thing. Second row. These are roughly 20 plants in each one. Sometimes 21, sometimes 19, 22. Our 5 rows of incredible sweet corn. Lots of bees.
I've been hovered by bees.
Yeah, they're unbelievable this morning again.
Wow.
Now the video don't really do it justice. There's a few honeybees in there with them now. These are our heirloom tomatoes. I think I made the video about planting these. I plant them sideways. I lay them down when I plant them. But it hasn't hurt them at all. The reason I'm going up the row here, I got a tomato to show you. There's a couple of them in here. That's a good size green tomato. It's the reason we like these heirlooms. It makes big tomatoes. These things are already close to 6 feet tall, some of them. They don't have the same color. They look pale looking. I've refertilized. I've done it every year, but I have never got these to a deep tone color, deep green. Got a roll of cucumbers here. Been getting several cucumbers. Get 2 or 3 a day, sometimes 5 or 6. They just now getting started, really producing like they're supposed to. The blooms has finally hit. Got our first run of cantaloupe. I've got some more I'm fixing to put out. Won't plant them down towards Miss Cindy there. You can see the drip tape's got the ground wet. That's where we're heading with them. It'll just get close to getting the rain, I would put them out. Of course, her squash, her Alexander squash, and her yellow squash.
What? I'm standing where there's nothing.
These are the Alaskan fancy tomatoes there. They're about done. They've loaded up several times with tomatoes. I thought these tomatoes was determinate. These tomatoes are semi-determinate, but they have loaded up several times. They're loaded right now, even though the plant's dying back. I mean, they're a small plant. They put on small tomatoes. 2 ounces was the big size, they said. 1 to 2 ounce tomatoes. They are a really good producer, and they're good tomatoes. They have good flavor. I'm waiting for a big slicer, but I mean, these work till you get there. Of course, my cherry tomatoes, they're overrun. I was kind of keeping up with them, but I've lost. It's not a bad deal to lose on. My eggplant's a different story. Something really likes my eggplant. You notice it has white powder all over it. It's got 7 dust. Because every time they grow a leaf, something comes by and eats it. I have nothing but sticks out here. So I started putting 7 dust. You know, they all look like that one. I don't know what likes them, but they get more than 3 or 4 leaves on them, they're gone. Into my squash roll, my zucchini down here at the end. My bell peppers. They're starting to get some height to them. Most time these things will get another foot taller. Still early. You can see that little plant's got bell pepper on the bottom. It needs to come off of it. Plant's too small. I believe in picking them early.
Dan's got 3 on it.
That little plant's got 3 on it.
This one's got 2 or 3 on it.
We've got, well, that video's got 4 or 5 of them I've already picked out of here.
And then there's the jalapenos.
Jalapenos down through here. We found out that our peppers grow better at the bottom end of this garden than they do at the top end.
Yeah.
So we kind of place them here and there like these two. But we figured out they do better. Of course, our blackberries are coming in there. That's been a very good snack. Looks like this afternoon I might actually be able to pick enough to put in a bowl.
Just, hey, turn it around.
And some more peppers. These are, I believe these are the beaver down peppers here. These 3. I make sure I put some space between my hot peppers and my bell peppers because I mixed them up.
Yeah.
Last year?
A
couple years ago. I put a jalapeno right in the middle of our bell peppers.
We had hot bell pepper.
We had hot bell peppers. They will cross-pollinate with each other.
Yep.
They was good,
if you
but
like hot pepper, the bell pepper it had a great taste.
preparing our pots, we got me a blueberry.
Oh.
The pots here,
Onion.
got a blueberry in this pot and of course an onion with it. I had an extra onion or 2.
Bongo enough.
Mongo has to be in our video. Of course there's another blueberry in there and an onion. And there's a pot with a couple of blueberries in it. We're trying to get them started. I cut off limbs last year and grafted and planted and tried everything in the world to get more. That's a banana pepper. It's got a couple on it. It's starting to put a bunch of them on. That is a lemon in that little pot I just pulled over my hand. That's another hazelnut over there. I put them in there because I water all this. I water them all at one time. This pepper, I believe, I got a pack of free seeds. It was called a big red pepper. I'm supposed to make a big red bell pepper, which it's got a little one on there. I've got a tomato that came up in the garden. I just put it over here to see if I keep it going. I was going to transplant it, but out of this into something else, and I hadn't done it. That was a freebie, I guess.
Yep.
This one's got Tabasco pepper in it and orange. The other Tabasco pepper, which is actually doing its job, this one took off where that one didn't. Same dirt, come out of the same compost pile. Difference in plants. That's my wild pears, peppermint.
Oh,
Oops,
sorry.
another cherry tomato.
Ran over you.
Alaskan fancy. Our pumpkins we're fixing to put out. Elderberries. I see a caterpillar on that. My carrot bed. Radishes and Swiss chard. And various other trees here. But of course, we still got our flowers that came up on their own. I didn't plant no flowers this year. Stuff came back from last year. Wildflowers, all kinds of things growing. It's a blessing. Silver sage. I mean, we've made this video long enough. They still more stuff to go, but I hope you enjoyed this walk around. I've got a lot going on.
Yeah, you did.
It takes a whole lot of time, so hope you enjoyed it.